I never appreciated rest. Like my experience with just traveling the world has given me such a different perspective. I'm not here to say that you should not work or you should, because people are probably watching this video like, okay, if you are not like hustling or grinding, how are you achieving? How are you making money? I'm redefining what excellence or what Black excellence looks to me. So yeah, I wasn't even supposed to do this video today, but I just really wanted to come on here to share some quick thoughts as I've been thinking. And I actually just sent out a newsletter sometime today talking about how, what I've been loving the most about this season of my life. And I'm going to just share that with you guys really quickly. So one of the things that I've been loving about this season of my life. Well, first things first, let me say this is that it took me a while to get here. It took me a while to get here. By the way, y'all love this hairdo? I'm kind of loving this hairdo. It's looking real regal. Real regal. But it took me a while to get here, right? I have been in grind mode for as long as I remember, for as long as I can remember myself. And working, it's just been grind mode, right? That's what I knew. And naturally, if you know, you know. If you're born and raised Jamaican, if you know any Jamaican, we're hardworking people. We're some of the hardest working people in the room, right? And so it was just ingrained in me to work hard. But like so many of us, I wore hustle like a badge of honor. I don't know if you can relate to that. I wore hustle and grind and hustle, right? Like a badge of honor. And if you've been following my channel for a while now, you may have noticed, or you may have come across some of like my side hustle content, right? And after a while, I kind of like, the term hustle kind of made me cringe, but I've been sharing a lot of side hustle content, ways that you can make extra money outside of your 9 to 5, because, I do believe in having extra streams of income and stuff like that. And so I was always sharing side hustle content, always hustling, always doing, always achieving the next thing, always proving, right? Always trying to prove that I'm enough. Always trying to prove that I'm enough. Now, the first time I slowed down, like most people were basically forced to slow down in 2020, right? The first time I slowed down was in 2020. I was forced to basically pause, and I discovered something that I didn't even know existed, which was stillness. Like, girl, you can actually be still. I remember there were some seasons when I would work so hard. I had this white couch, right, in my apartment at the time. I think, what year was it? 20, I don't remember. I was very young when I got my first official full real apartment. I moved out very young when I was 18, but I was always in shared housing, 18, 19, 20, always in some kind of shared housing or something like that. And then so when I moved out into my first apartment, I was maybe 20 or 21. And I had this white leather couch. I'll never forget it. I bought it from Wayfair. And let me see if you guys can see me. Yeah, I bought it. It's night. Now I'm recording this video, so my lighting, hopefully the lighting is good. But anyway, I had this white leather couch from Wayfair. And that couch was kept perfectly white. Let me change this. You would come to my house and wonder, how is her couch so perfectly white, y'all? Because I never sat in my couch. I never sat in the couch, y'all. I sat in there, but it was very rare. And I would boast about it either to myself or I'm pretty sure probably to people that I never watched TV. I never watched TV. And I guess that's not such a bad thing. But the point of the matter is, I never appreciated rest. I never appreciated and I never understood that rest was also a form of productivity. I never understood that. I was just always in grind mode. I would be doing Uber or Lyft after work, late night hours, doing some side hustle, starting some side businesses, meal prepping. Like I never sat down. I was in hustle mode all the time. In that stillness, though, in that stillness, right? Fast forward to 2020 when everybody was pretty much forced to slow down. In that stillness, I discovered a version of myself that I never knew existed. And in that season, I learned that I'm more productive when I'm rested, and that I'm more joyful. I have more joy when I'm present, and I'm more aligned when I'm not like performing or just trying to perform. You know what I mean? Like I learned so much about myself during that time. Also, just simply living my truth. I learned that I was such a better person. I was a better version of myself when I was just simply living in my truth, right? I'm not here to say that you should not work or you because people are probably watching this video like, okay, if you are not like hustling or grinding, how are you achieving? How are you making money? How are you doing all of those things? The point that I'm trying to make is you can live in your truth. Yes, you can still earn money, right? You can walk in, you can do all those things while you're walking in your purpose. The point that I'm trying to make is sometimes we overextend ourselves, number one, that we lose focus of our purpose, our true purpose, the purpose that God put us on this earth to fulfill and to walk into. When we're grinding all the time, we lose focus of that. We lose focus of ourselves. We're no longer centered. We're no longer aligned sometimes with God's will because we're just so caught up in what we want to achieve in the next thing and also just being completely burnt out, right? But instead, I believe that God wants us to attract, attract that success naturally rather than chasing and trying to just be and to just walk in purpose. So during that time, I slowly started to discover that and slowly started to discover, wow, I'm more productive when I'm rested. I'm more creative when I'm rested. I feel more purposeful and more aligned when I'm not just flying off the wall, making up things to do because I feel like I have to be busy. And a lot of times being busy does not necessarily mean productive. We can be busy and just be busy for busy sake and not even really achieving the things that the things that we actually want to achieve or not necessarily walk in our purpose, right? While we're busy doing nothing, right? And so these days, I'm just focused on centering myself, centering my peace, my health, my well being, the beautiful and sometimes messy rhythms of motherhood. That's the season that I'm in. And I've just been learning to embrace it, just embrace that season, right? I love being a mom. It's not my entire identity. I'm trying to not make it my entire identity, but I believe that God has me in this season for a reason. And I've been learning so much, you know, just being a mom, it's just different. You see things from a different perspective. And so I'm learning to just embrace this season and just be centered and not trying to rush everything, right? I'm in this season, I'm focused on not rushing. I'm not proving. I'm just being. I'm not rushing. I'm not proving. I'm just being. I'm just being me. My focus is just be authentically me. I don't know why I'm sharing all of this, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here to share that. And I honestly love who I am here, you guys. You guys know, some of you guys know, my family and I, we are pretty much traveling. I guess by this point, I would consider myself a world traveler. I've been to so many different countries across different continents, countless cities, and I've learned so much, seen different perspectives. And I think that as well, like my experience with just traveling the world has given me such a different perspective. And I just see the world through a different lens now as well. And when I interact with people in the local communities in different countries and learn the way they live and the way they think, it just reminds me a lot that life is so much more beautiful when we slow down. Most countries that I go to, that's like one of the reminders and the things that I take away from it. Life can be so much more beautiful when we actually slow down and slow down with intentionality, right? To be present. And I remember when I visited Bali, Indonesia, we were just there too a few months ago last year. And like in 2022, we spent extended time there as well. And being there, I was reminded to just be present, just be present. And lately, I've been sitting with this question. What does Black excellence look like? Because you know how, like, you know the saying Black excellence, right? And it's almost like we have to put Black with the excellence or excellence with the Black. It's always been this thing rather than just being excellent. It's almost like we're not enough or your Blackness is not enough, right? You know, like, I don't know. Feel free to share your take on this, right? Feel free to share your take on this in the comments below. But for me, I'm redefining what that looks like. I'm redefining what excellence or what Black excellence looks to me. This season, it looks like rest. It looks like joy. It looks like peace. It looks like intentionality. It looks like purpose. It looks like being present. And it looks like just being the woman that I was created to be, right? Created in his image. I was created in God's image. And so I'm redefining what excellence or what Black excellence means to me. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. That is just a thought that I had. I also sent a newsletter out to my email list as well, sharing this thought. And so I was like, let me come on YouTube. Okay. Let me come on YouTube to share this thought. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this season that you're in. If you feel like you're being called to a slower way of life. Again, not saying that you should quit everything, right? And not pursue your passions and your goals. Do that. But when we truly pursue our passions and the things that really truly fulfill us and the things that God actually called us to, versus trying to prove to everyone that we're this and but that we're that and that we're enough and burning out ourselves and overextending ourselves, when we truly walk into that purpose, right? And walk through life with intentionality, even if, yes, you're doing work, right? You know, you're doing God's work or you're doing the things that you're passionate about. It doesn't really feel so much like work. You know what I mean? Because you're walking in the things that you are called to do. You're walking in your purpose. You're walking in your passion versus just being busy per se. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So yes, sis, you can make the money. You can have the side hustle. You can have these things. But what's the purpose behind it? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing all of those things? Ask yourself that question. Why are you doing all those things? And do you truly feel fulfilled? Do you truly feel fulfilled and feel peace doing all of those things, trying to prove rather than just being? But once you fully step into that, once you fully step into walking in what God has called you to do, the work no longer feels like work. All right, y'all. That's all I have to say. Y'all know I can blab, I can chat. I was going to go live today, but I was like, I'm just going to jump on here, do this quick video. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.